So how much control over online speech should big tech have? That's the question being asked amid growing concerns over censorship surrounding conservative and pro-life voices. Lila Rose, founder and president of Live Action, joins me now on Skype to talk more about this. Lila, welcome. So good to speak with you. I know your organization has faced this kind of censorship. You're welcome. Great to have you on. I know that you face this kind of censorship on Facebook and Twitter. Can you talk to us about what you experienced and also what you're hearing from others in the pro-life movement?
Sure. So Live Action and I have faced censorship for over 5 years now. It's not anything new. We've been banned from advertising on Twitter for the last 5 years. Meanwhile, Planned Parenthood and other abortion lobbyists and abortion chain corporations are allowed to do advertising on Twitter. We've been permanently banned from Pinterest. Meanwhile, abortion clinics can actually be promoting sales pitches for abortions through images on Pinterest. It's a popular image sharing website. We have faced censorship and suppression from Facebook. We've had abortionists hired by fact checkers, by a third party that works with Facebook in order to try to shut down one of our pages and limit its growth, both my page and Live Action's page. So we've had a lot of trouble over the years, and I think it has been increasing the censorship that we're seeing from these social media companies. Other pro-life groups, I know Susan B. Anthony List at one point had an issue with advertising as well. And there are just ongoing concerns because we know the leadership at these companies are pro-abortion. Many of them are pro-abortion. Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, has donated millions to Planned Parenthood. Many of them subscribe to a far left ideology that unfortunately is very pro-abortion. And so when they become the arbiters, when social media companies or Google position themselves as the arbiters of what is true and what is not, and they are pro-abortion, which inherently is an illogical position. It's denying the humanity, the scientific reality of the humanity of the child in the womb. But when they're saying that it's actually factual to be somehow pro-choice, even though that's a political position, it's not. It has nothing to do with facts or science. It has to do with this radical abortion ideology. When they position themselves as that kind of an arbiter, it can have a chilling effect on freedom of speech and the pro-life perspective shared online. So we are continuing to fight it and monitor it. But it goes to the larger problem of the control, the almost monopoly that these major tech companies have over conversation and the sharing of information online.
Yeah, and what's your biggest concern, about what we're seeing right now and the message that's sending?
Well, the biggest concern is they can shut you down. I mean, the reality is Facebook can completely, if they wanted to, they could shut down all pro-life pages. There's nothing stopping them right now. That same could be done on Twitter. They could silence pro-life voices. They've actually done some of this in the past. They've suppressed Live Action and my voice. So they can do that. They technically have the power right now to do that. And they should not have the power to do that because here's the reality. They are effectively monopolies. This is the public square now, the new public square, which has become digital. So for these tech companies to claim that they are not politically biased and yet they hold this tremendous power, not just over the conversations happening publicly, but power that can influence elections, power that can influence law. This power needs to be checked. It can't go unchecked. And that's why I support some of these efforts to question the monopolies that they have created and potentially break them up, because that will be a check against the huge power they have, and which is power that they can wield politically to silence dissent and ultimately potentially silence the pro-life voice online.
Yeah. On a different note, before I let you go, I know you have a new book out called Fighting for Life. Tell us about it and why you decided to write it.
Sure. So this is my first book. It's been 15 years in the making, but it's really a manual and I hope an inspirational guidebook for readers to look at and know the steps for how they can get started. Because whether it's big tech censorship or whether it is fears of the controversy of fighting for the pro-life cause, or just standing up for our Christian beliefs as a Catholic in this country and in this world, there's just going to be a lot of fear, a lot of opposition. So how do we become the force for change that we are called to be in the world with love, with truth, with the message of Christ? So that book is really the culmination of the messages and the lessons that I have learned over the years for how to stand up for life. And I hope it's inspiring and encouraging to everyone. There's always a way to stand up, no matter your background, no matter how old you are, how young you are. We each have a role to play.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the book. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your views with us. We appreciate it. Lila Rose, Live Action founder and president. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks so much.